And hi there, welcome to Home Wizards, where we love to improve the spaces you call home. Basically, improve your home and improve your life. I'm Cindy Dole.
Hey, I'm Eric Stromer.
And, you know, we live in the Los Angeles area, and I've always wanted to be one of those seat warmers at the Oscars where, you know, people sit in the seats while the stars go away and go to the bathroom or go say hi to somebody famous, and then, you know, someone else is sitting in that seat, so there's no vacant seat, you know, because when you watch the Oscars, which is one of the big events on TV, and it's coming up. With that, we talk about, well, how do you kind of set the stage in your own space so you too can feel like you are right there sitting in that theater with all the stars and watching and kind of, you know, casting your own ballots and having a fun little gathering with snacks and beverages and that kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Have you had an Oscar party before?
Yeah, we always. I mean,
do?
my parents have always really been into watching it, and my mom will make a great dinner, and then the whole family sits there in front of the TV and goes, "Oh, look at that guy!
And they're wearing that?
Yeah, what? You're wearing that? What?"
So, you know, and it's all about the swag, too. I mean, the stars, when they go to these things, they all are gifted with all of these special little goodies that are worth
these bags
thousands
are thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars.
Boy, there's all sorts of stuff in these bags. I mean,
jewelry,
you've got jewelry and liqueurs and massage coupons.
Oh, my God. All kinds of gifties. So
that's it.
Thought we'd set the stage for you on how you could do something maybe not quite that expensive and extravagant. But for instance, you could have your own Oscar party and have your own little swag bag of gifties, but on a really small scale and fun level. I like the idea of making a CD that you would burn and make copies of it with all of the songs that are tied to the movies that are up for nominations.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's pretty easy to do. You just go to iTunes and download all the songs that are nominated.
And then get, like, if you have some old DVDs of really, like, crummy movies that you want to get rid of, like, put those in the bag. Like, just really
it's a great way to pare down your movie collection, right?
Really bad ones. In fact, we have old VHS tapes still in our home.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you do with old VHS tapes? I mean, it's kind of sad because there are some people that will, they'll take out, if you take out all the tape, then they can recycle the vessel, if you will.
Sure.
But I mean, for the most part, you know, the film
just
inside is e-waste. But anyway, so if you had, I guess, old VHS movies, if anyone had a VCR anymore, that you could put that in your swag bag.
Yeah.
But then I love the idea, too, there's a lot of websites where you can buy those mini Oscar statuettes.
Yeah.
And put that in the bag.
Seems like dark chocolate would be a lovely parting gift.
Well, chocolate is always, always
helps.
You're always talking my language. And then just knickknacks of any kind to make it feel very glamorous and Hollywood-esque. And that all gets back to, again, just setting the stage. So, for instance, in the swag bag, you might even have movie tickets, movie passes. Wouldn't that be a fun gift?
Sure, yeah, sure would. Or even, you know, if you... Some of these spas that are popping up in these little urban centers now, $20 gets you, you know, a half
to feel
hour
like a star.
45-minute massage on your feet. Why not?
That's a nice little gift. So all that you can have. But let's say you were thinking about having folks over in your space. You know, it's really a fun time. It's a fun evening, and I love the idea of welcoming everyone with the paparazzi feeling.
Yeah,
have you ever done this?
As they walk in, just snap a bunch of pictures. Have the kids show up, and you know, as the people are coming up the driveway, just start taking pictures
and assign them to be the photographers for the evening or the afternoon, and literally put out a red carpet. And there are ways where you can either go to an inexpensive fabric store and get a large, you know, ream of red fabric and put it out there. I've even seen it done where you just get some really inexpensive red towels, and you just line them up one after the next, and maybe get some large gold stars that you could then tape, you know, to the carpet so that as they're walking down or walking up to your front door.
That's it. And instead of yelling, "Look, there's Brad Pitt," it's like, "Look, there's Brad, the dry cleaning guy." Yeah.
But that's fun because it's all about, you know, giving them that sense of
yeah,
you know, that they're
right.
special, right?
Yeah.
And then I also love the idea when after they have the arrival and the photography is happening, that somebody, maybe it might be Eric Stromer, is there in a tuxedo with a beverage tray, welcoming you with a glass of champagne.
I might have something for you. That's right. Yeah, and
with a
it's
little
like
towel
you're
over
the concierge for the evening.
See?
So you're responsible for
you
creating.
Could do that.
I don't know.
I could totally.
Do you know
see
how many years I waited tables?
You would be great at that. Hello.
I would be fantastic. Have you ever seen me bust it? I can get like 7 to 9 plates at one scoop.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So you
I
do
got that diner stacking ability.
and the balance,
That's
see,
right.
and the footwork.
Yeah.
See, all that kind of goes in your favor.
I was working at a restaurant years ago. It was an opera cafe, and it was the
Wait,
first
an
day on the
opera?
job. Yeah, it was like I can't
people are
remember
singing.
the name.
Like
People sing
the
arias.
waiters are singing.
No.
Yeah,
they'd have people coming in as ringers that were real singers.
Oh,
and then we
ringers
were just
that are singers.
And I was just the server,
The waiter.
right? My first responsibility was to take 7 glasses of water to a table. I picked up the wrong glass. All the glasses slid and landed on this bald guy's head, and I pulled the lemon wedge off of his head and then said, I'll be right back to get a towel. I walked out the back door and never returned. Thank you very much.
Truth be told.
That's it.
All right. Well, so I love the idea of, the arrival beverage, and maybe you want a champagne drinker. It could be non-alcoholic.
I
but
could give you juice.
It could be a juice,
Yeah.
it could be a Martinelli's, whatever. But it's all about the setting the stage and having kind of like the attitude.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of fun, too. Maybe you want to go highbrow and have everyone, as you're putting out the invitations, you're doing the evites, so, whatever it is, how you're, getting people to know that the party's coming.
Yeah.
Maybe you have everyone dress up.
Sure,
Maybe
or you provide just simple, silly little things like fake bow ties or a top
That's
hat
cute
or something.
too. That's cute too.
Even a tiara, like New Year's Eve stuff.
Everyone's a princess.
That's right.
See?
Maybe everyone's a princess.
And we're Prince.
Yeah.
So you have the red carpet, you have the paparazzi, you have the beverage arrivals. Now what? Well, also inside your space, you need to have old movie posters. And you can get those from garage sales, right? You can go to online. There's a lot of old vintage posters of any kind, whatever your favorite era may be, and put those up on the walls. And maybe even give some of those away as some of the fun prizes.
That's exactly right.
Isn't that cute?
And then you could have everybody give little speeches after they've received, a gift of a beverage. They can come up and talk about how great it is and why they should, be rewarded.
Yeah, they have to work for their beverage.
That's it.
And they also have to, as they arrive, you're giving them a ballot. So everyone, you maybe would type something out and print it out in your computer, and everyone has a ballot where they're going to predict who they think will be the best picture.
That's great.
The best actor, best actress, right? And then the winner will get something special at the end. Well, when we come back, we have some more ideas on how to have your own Academy Award party at home. Like, what are some of the things you can serve to be really kind of cool to set the stage? You know what I'm saying?
Can't wait.
More of that coming up.
Yeah.
Eric Stormer, Cindy Dole, we love to put a smile on your face and improve the spaces you call home. Home Wizards, where we improve your home and improve your life.
Every night in my dreams, I see you, I feel you.
Just so you guys know, Cindy's holding me by the torso.
Yep.
My arms are outstretched. I'm wearing white linen. There's a fan in the studio. And
it's just gently flowing.
And I'm just sailing over the ocean.
Flowing.
But fate would have it that ship may crash someday.
No, don't
No,
tell
it may-
me the
it
ending.
may not, no.
This is a different twist.
Oh,
This is
that's
a
right.
happy ending.
Yeah.
We'll break into a number.
A number.
And we all
Yeah,
dance
that's
and are happy forever. Anyway, that's Eric Stromer. I'm Cindy Dole. You're listening to Home Wizards. And why the Titanic? Well, why not? Because it's almost Oscars time, and we thought it would be fun to figure out a way to have your own Oscar party, because it is one of the big TV events all over the country. And no matter where you live, it's kind of fun just to watch these folks show up to get their award, to not get the award.
And the new host, to see how he does. It's Seth. Who is it again?
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane, that's right.
So that's all cool. And then, so let's say you are getting ready to have a party. We've talked about having swag, which is cool. And what about having some more things to make people feel like they're a star when they arrive? I love the idea of having the red carpet. What if you didn't want to have red carpet? What about just creating almost like an interior theater setting with lighting along the walkway or along the floor?
That's pretty, yeah. Just candles in the luminarias would be really nice.
Or that rope lighting.
That would be pretty, too.
You know what I mean? So it almost looks like you're inside, a theater.
Yeah, I like that.
What if you were to create the look of curtains, too?
Okay, that would be good. How would you do it?
Like if you were to get a bunch of velvet fabric or something to look like fabric that you'd see in a great theater, to drape it across as people walk into the front door.
Oh, and
to
they
get
have
like
to
a
part
shower
the curtain.
curtain.
Yes.
Have like a shower rod,
Yeah.
and then have the fabric just kind of draped, and so they have to open the curtain. Like the door opens, but then they have to open the curtain.
That's kind of cute.
Is that kind of silly?
I
don't know.
I like it.
I mean, it's all about creating an attitude and having some fun.
Yeah,
I think.
because if you do that, then people, suspended disbelief. They'll come in and be a part of the thing with you. And it's a lot of fun. And then the whole night becomes enchanted instead of just like, hey Bob, you still having chicken tonight? Okay, it heightens it a little bit.
Yeah,
I
a
like
little bit more.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea to go to a craft store too, and if you can buy a piece of black foam board, you can now create one for each category using like a white marker, and then write the name of the award on the top. And this can be your way of having your own, like best picture, best song, best whatever, and then just beneath it, you don't put who actually has won naturally, but people will be filling out their ballots,
right?
And then at the end, the people who win, or however,
you may even want to wager.
Totally, and then there's prizes.
You could win beer.
Yeah.
What would you drink if you were going to serve some delicious beverage? What would you serve?
Well, I'm not a beer drinker, so I wouldn't serve that.
Yeah.
I know that you are.
Yeah, I'll bring my own. It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Don't worry, that's cool. I got my own.
Yeah, I know that you're a beer guy.
What would you bring?
I would. What would I serve?
Yeah.
For my party?
Yeah.
Well, there's all different kinds of fun beverages that you can mix. I mean, I think martinis are always great. Flavored martinis. I
tell you, I get it, it's like I'm on Thorazine when I drink the martini. But they really are good.
They're great.
But after about 1.5, I'm pretty much like, yeah, whatever. I don't care who wins.
You juice it up, you water it down. Or I think that also the champagne idea is fun. And then you can come up with different beverages that go with what you would see that they have in Hollywood, for instance, or even tie it to the different movie themes that are up for awards. But in terms of the menu, I think that you can start really, really simple. And as people arrive, you've given them, let's say, the glass of the champagne or juice or whatever that is. But I like the idea of making snacks appear all over like you would expect in a movie theater.
Sure, like what? What do you think?
I mean, you're going to have a meal later on. Like, let's save the meal for much later. But people are arriving around 5.
Yeah.
Or maybe even earlier, 4.
Well, because you want to see the walk-in.
The arrivals.
The arrival.
So they're arriving, let's say, around 4-ish in the afternoon, maybe even earlier than that. But then, start with just some early snacks, and that can be like theater candy.
That's a good idea.
Some theater candy, and create large glass bowls or jars with little scoops, and everyone has their own little bowl, and you can go and it's almost like you're in a theater, but it's potluck candy, if you will. And you can use candies that you would see at, those are outrageously priced candies you see in the theater.
Right.
Yeah. From the mints to the to the
milk duds.
To the
Do
milk
they still
duds.
make milk duds?
They still make milk
Okay,
duds.
good.
To the little mini bars, to the hot jelly ranchers, I guess you call them, and the yellow sour
Skittles.
tarts, all of those kinds.
Yeah.
And then make sure that you also have M&Ms and chocolates, but that's a fun way of doing it. And then I think popcorn is another good way, where you have popcorn that's flavored with different seasonings, whether it's spice or cheesy or whatever kind you like, and have that and have that served up in either little newspaper wraps or in actual paper bags. So people feel like they too are in the theater.
And then, are you going to introduce some appetizers?
We are.
Okay. What are you going to do?
So you basically are as people are arriving, they're getting the beverage, they're getting the set and the feeling of being in a movie theater, and then about an hour from then, you're going to have some nice appetizers that could be anything from your standard things, the nachos, your meatballs, your mini foods. I think mini-me's are always very popular, like little mini burgers, little mini hot dogs, mini anything, and even soups that you serve in little champagne glasses, like chilled soups.
Boy, I love the mini hamburgers. I can't get off that one. I just love them. You could even do the Kobe beef.
The Kobe beef is a good idea.
Yeah. And those are not difficult to do. You just throw a ton of them on the grill, and they're done really rapidly. They are I am going to serve the mini hamburgers. I'm doing it, I promise.
Yeah. And it can be very last minute. I mean, also, I've seen, in fact, I've done parties like this where it's so impromptu, where you don't cook a thing, where you basically get all takeout, and it can be like in themes where you have the takeout pizza, the takeout Chinese, the takeout chicken, and you just kind of create a potpourri potluck, if you will, or buffet, I should say. And so it's all staged, and so people are getting samples of these different kinds of ethnic flavors.
Yeah, and you could also kind of do it where it's reflective of what the movies that are nominated are. So the cuisine could be, like if it's a period piece, you could create cuisine that kind of harkens back to that time. Or if it's, if it's something like Zero Dark 30, just gruel. Just some beans in a ladle.
Right.
Military food, if you will.
That'll work.
Yeah.
And as long as the television set is working in order, you want to make sure that you have enough seating. This always, was the case for any kind of a TV watching party. But now, because it is very much, the hoity-toity, you want it to make it feel like Hollywood. I love the idea of getting maybe seat covers and getting as much velvet or as much frou-frou, so it feels like you have a celebrity environment.
That's kind of cool.
Like maybe you have just fold-up chairs. You need some extra chairs, but you want to create like the Hollywood look, almost like you're in a theater, and it's like a nice rich red velvet or maroon-colored velvet.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. That wouldn't be that expensive. A couple of yards of that stuff, cut it out and throw it on the chair.
Yeah.
Here's your velvet. Here's your fancy velvet chair. It's just basically a card table chair with some velvet on it. I like it. I like it.
Now, some more different kinds of food ideas. I mean, again, it's all about making it feel like it is glamorous and fun. But it could still be very simple and inexpensive to do. For instance, it could be just like having, the tacos. And have tacos with different kinds of meats. Now, that isn't super glamorous, but a lot of times people just want to have that, and that could be like the main meal later on.
Yeah, the finger food, I think, is great.
Yeah, so it could be everything from like fish tacos, chicken tacos, and beef tacos.
Right.
And that's like, later on in the afternoon or the early part of the evening.
Yeah. Because, I mean, this event, if you're watching them walk in all the way to the end, this is about a 6-hour ordeal, isn't it?
Goes on for
Pretty
a while.
Pretty much, that's it. It's the whole late afternoon, evening.
I think that having cheeses will always work. Get cheeses of different kinds and have like a cheese plate out and have that in different kinds of breads and crackers.
You know what I love? The cheese with the big walnuts and then the delicious variety of crackers.
I haven't had. Oh, wait. Well, you want
and then
walnuts
the dried fruit too, like apricots.
Yeah, right.
And man, that's good.
It's nice. The contrasts.
Maybe
right?
I'm just going cheese. I'm
or
going
like grapes,
all cheese. Grapes too. Yeah.
Grapes and yummy like Gouda cheese. Yum. Mm-hmm. The contrast. So any of that works, I think. So now we've talked about some of the food, some of the beverage ideas. We have the swag bags. And then, you have to think of a great prize to give everyone at the end. So, besides everyone taking home a bag, what could be the grand prize for the person that nailed it? They picked the best picture and the actor and actress and director and everything. What would you have?
Boy, I don't know. I'm thinking a really cool gift basket that simulates the swag bag. You know what I mean? So the winner gets like a whole thing of, the massage, the manicure, pedicure thing, maybe a dinner out that's paid for with a...
That's a nice idea.
Isn't that a nice idea?
So like dinner and a movie.
Yeah.
A dinner and a movie.
Dinner and a movie, yeah.
Yeah, or maybe a bunch of more movie passes.
That's it.
Right? All that works. Anyway, we'll post all this on the website so you too can get ready for Oscar night because it's coming up pretty darn soon, and there's a lot of fun things that you can do to make it inexpensive and cool just so that you're all hanging out together. And, I mean, that's why we like to have our homes look nice, right, is have people over, right?
Best Picture, Lincoln.
Yeah,
you watch.
Yeah,
you ready?
I know. I didn't see it, but
you're gonna love
anyway, coming up next, we're going to talk about making the garden great. February can be challenging depending on where you live, and we have some ideas to help you enjoy that outdoor space to get it ready because spring isn't too far away. Eric Stormer, Cindy Dole, you're listening to Home Wizards.
But I haven't seen her face for a very long